You think you know football history? Think again. Beyond the cheers and the trophies lies a darkness the sport tried to bury. A forgotten chapter written not by players but by those in the stands. Men who fought not for glory but for territory. From London to Leeds, Manchester to Millwall, loyalty blurred with violence. Brotherhood turned to bloodshed, and for a generation the game lost control. This isn't about glory, it's about chaos. Welcome to the ranking of football's darkest days. Each moment you're about to see was ranked by 4 measures. Human cost, the price paid in lives and the scars left behind. Long-term consequences, the laws rewritten, the stadiums rebuilt. Global shock, how far the tremors reached beyond England's terraces. And cultural change, the moments that forced football to evolve or collapse. This isn't about glorifying violence, it's about remembering why the game had to change. Let's open the files and rank football's darkest days. March 13th, 1985. Luton Town versus Millwall, an FA Cup tie that would descend into one of the most infamous riots in English football history. It started with bottles and bricks. Within minutes, hundreds had surged onto the pitch. Police shields buckled under flying debris. Flames flickered from the stands as terrified families ran for cover. 47 people were injured, dozens arrested, the pitch torn apart like a battlefield, and the image of English football stained on front pages worldwide. In the aftermath, Luton's chairman took drastic action, banning away supporters entirely.
Then announced that in future they'll refuse to play clubs which have fans that cause trouble, including Millwall.
For the next 4 years, Kenilworth Road became a fortress of isolation. The Battle of Kenilworth Road wasn't just a riot, it was a warning, a sign that football had lost control of its own soul. May 29th, 1985. The European Cup Final, Liverpool versus Juventus. A night meant for glory. That became one of football's darkest tragedies. Moments before kickoff, chaos erupted in Section Z. Liverpool fans charged a neutral zone. Concrete barriers crumbled, and the weight of thousands crushed those trapped below. 39 lives were lost, hundreds more injured, and across the world, the beautiful game stood still in horror. The match unthinkably went on. UEFA called it a decision to prevent further riots. But the world watched in disbelief as football continued beneath the weight of silence. The Heysel Disaster ended English clubs' place in Europe for 5 long years and marked the moment when football's violence finally demanded reckoning. June 13th, 1998. Marseille, France's port city, and the stage for England's return to the World Cup. But before the whistle even blew, the battle had already begun. What started as chants in the cafes turned to chaos in the streets. Hundreds of England fans clashed with locals and French police. Tear gas filled the alleys as the world's cameras rolled. Dozens arrested, dozens injured. And around the globe, headlines screamed the same words: England, a disgrace to football. Politicians called it a national embarrassment. The FA promised reform. But beneath the apologies, one truth lingered. The old ghosts of hooliganism had never truly left. Cardiff City versus Leeds United. 2002. What should have been a championship clash turned into a carefully planned riot. Hours before kickoff, groups of hooligans arranged ambushes across the city. Stones, bottles, even fireworks. Cardiff's streets erupted into running battles. 200 arrests, dozens injured, and all of it captured live. The first riot of the CCTV era. Proof that football's violence hadn't vanished, it had just evolved. For Cardiff, it reignited an old reputation. For Leeds, it was a return to infamy. And for football, it was a chilling reminder that history can still repeat itself, even under the spotlight. April 15th, 1989. Hillsborough Stadium, Sheffield. A day meant to decide a semi-final became the darkest in British football history. Thousands of Liverpool fans were still outside when the gates were opened. In minutes, the terraces overflowed, and in that crush, 97 lives were lost. For years, the truth was buried under headlines and blame. But it wasn't hooliganism this time. It was failure. Failure of safety, failure of leadership, failure of care.
So whose fault was it?
I would blame the police for opening the doors.
The disaster changed everything.
28 years later, 6 people will finally face charges.
Barriers were torn down, policing reformed, and stadiums rebuilt for safety over spectacle. It wasn't the violence that ended hooliganism. It was the realization that football should never cost a life. 97 remembered, forever proof that football's darkest days were not just about rage, but about loss.